Hello, Caldwell. My name is Zadie, and I'm with the Canyon County Anti-Trafficking Task Force. So if you guys would like to introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Joanne.
I'm Deborah Kraft.
And I'm Lori Jane.
All right. So we have a couple questions for you. So I would like to hear about how you guys started and who you guys are.
Well, we go back to 2021 when we had our very first meeting. A group of concerned citizens from Caldwell came together to develop a program, an event that we could bring to the public to raise awareness on human trafficking in our area and what citizens could do to help out.
That's awesome. Do you want to go more into detail about that? Like
what prompted it?
Yeah.
Well, we would go back 1 year earlier when I was walking in a park in Caldwell with a friend of mine, and we came upon a young woman who was in great distress, believing she was going to die that day. And so as we worked to help her, brought her back to the parking lot and called in the police, we learned that sex trafficking was on the rise in Caldwell, that this situation had the signs of sex trafficking, and that this young woman's name had come up in the database of missing persons. So that was our rude awakening to the reality of the world of sex trafficking. And so from there, as we talked more about it, word got out. That's when we reached out to the community, and people came on board to develop this event.
It was well attended, and there were a lot of people as a result of the presentation that evening that said, we are concerned and we would like to help. So that was the grassroots that started this group.
And Lori Jane can speak to the fact that she came on board as a result of attending the first two events that we had, because the follow-up was a panel discussion. So,
yeah, and trafficking had been on my radar in the back of my mind for quite some time, and I had had conversations with different people, but I just didn't act on it until I went to the event here in Caldwell, and then to the follow-up panel discussion, and saw how real it is and that it's here, right here. And I just couldn't ignore it anymore, and I had to step up. And that's when I joined the task force.
Right. That's really amazing that you guys all stepped up to change for the youth. It's really amazing. Lori Jane, do you want to share how you guys got here, or would you like to?
Sure. Well, it's been a journey. This isn't something that just happens overnight. First and foremost, I was amazed to find out that it's here. This is Idaho.
Right.
This isn't New York or New Jersey. And as we began this journey and found out not only is it happening here, but it is everywhere. And as we work with law enforcement and more of the experts in the field, which there are an abundance of, we found out that every high school across this nation has a groomer, at least one active groomer, anything from counselor to captain of the football team, or maybe the captain of the cheer squad. There's a lot of money to be made. And so we began to really research how we could infiltrate that front with kids who are obviously all attached to a cell phone 24/7, some of them. And what is it that pulls them into this? How are they so easily victimized? And what can we do to break that chain? So I'll hand that off to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the members of our panel discussion, the panel was a school resource officer, is still a school resource officer, and the listening audience may know of Officer Gomez. But he is the one that tuned us into the dangers of youth on the internet with these sexual predators. And so as we moved forward, we developed our own presentation called Not Our Children, which we delivered to all types of audiences upon request, whether it be the general public or a private organization or a faith-based audience. And that is really focused on our youth and the prevalence of these sexual predators on the internet and how this crime is growing at a frightening pace. So we are now working with law enforcement to bring educational programs to the public, and that is the focus of our organization, to bring educational programs to the public to raise awareness and equip them with the knowledge they need to put the best practices in place to keep their children safe, and for our youth to understand how they can keep themselves safe. So with that, we are developing more and more programs. In November, we are now working on an event to bring an ambassador for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children down from Spokane. He is an agent for the U.S. Secret Service, and he will be presenting the newly launched educational program out of the DHS called Know to Protect. It is a comprehensive educational program, offers a variety of curriculum for a range of audiences, whether it be the general public, whether it be parents, for schools. They can incorporate this into their health and safety program, which is what we really hope to see happen as we raise this awareness that this is information that the youth need continually, and they need it to be updated so that they understand how they can keep themselves safe, because we know that education is the most powerful tool at our fingertips to protect our citizens, especially our youth.
Right. Now, with that being said, what is your main goal for, I guess, the youth? Like, what is your goal for the youth in the community?
First and foremost, to get them educated. And we know from talking with youth that they would like to know how to keep themselves safe on the internet. There's a number of issues involved in this. One is, how young should our minors be before they are on the internet unsupervised? And right now, experts are saying that no child under the age of 13 should have a cell phone. So, and that's obviously going to be a challenge for those youth that already have one at that age or younger. But going forward from here, it is a message that needs to be shared far and wide, that the internet is not a place where youth should be allowed to just navigate at their free will. We've learned that there are up to approximately 750,000 sexual predators on the internet at any given moment of the day. And when you couple that with the fact that our youth don't even have the full capacity to handle these complex emotional situations when they find themselves victimized, and the consequences have been tragic, that there really needs to be an understanding of proper supervision for youth on the internet.
Right. What are some challenges you guys have within your task force and like within the community with getting this out there?
I would say a couple of things. One is the parents, not my kid, not happening here, denial, I think. That's one of the areas. And a lot of the parents, though, once they see our presentation or go to one of our events, their eyes are opened and they're realizing. And then it's a challenge because sometimes it's like so much. What can I do? I want to bury my head. I don't want to see this. I don't want to know about it. But yeah, that's one challenge. I think another is for the youth to really realize that, because a lot of the youth today, what we're finding out is sexting is like commonplace. It's just, it's no big deal to send a nude to somebody, even to people they don't even know. This is very commonplace in the schools today. And so to get the youth to understand the danger of what they're doing when they do those things, and that what ends up on the internet can stay on the internet, and it can go, these predators will take these and they can sell them and make money all over the world from these pictures and from acts that they encourage the kids to do. So those are challenges in and of themselves.
Right. Now, with that being said, what would you like Caldwell to know about you guys specifically? Like, what do you want the youth and the possibly adults and parents, schools, anybody, something like important to know?
Well, we are working more and more to get ourselves out visually to the community. So we do have a Facebook page, and parents can and youth can visit our Facebook page. We are continually posting new information on there that covers a wide variety of topics. We also have a website we've developed. So we have a page for the parents, we have a page for youth, and our youth team for the task force is going to start working on getting information, drafting their own messages that they'd like to share with the youth. And I think Lori Jane, you might want to add to that, because Lori Jane is overseeing our website.
Yeah, whatever, like for the parents, it's things that are important for parents to know, and specifically communication with their kids. And the youth, what we're looking for our youth volunteers is to bring subjects that would be of interest to the youth, to draw them to that website and to give them the information that they might not know, or that they would be interested in hearing or contributing even to. And then we have a general blog as well that are just general subjects relating to trafficking. And yeah, and then we do put on the Facebook page, we do have a calendar, and it has events, and you click on the event and it'll pop up with the description of the event and where it is. So they can use that to see what we have coming up, as well as our Facebook page.
Right, that's really good. That's a really good resource too. What are some opportunities, like volunteering opportunities, or just educational opportunities do you guys have?
Well, as we say in our presentation, Not Our Children, underlining what our mission statement reads, is that we are dependent upon the community for our success. And so what that means is, not only do we seek out audiences to learn this information, but to share with others their need to also know the value of getting educated on this subject. And we also look for volunteers who can help us in a variety of areas. Our youth give us tremendous input on their insights. We get insight from them on how we need to shape and form these educational programs, which is invaluable. We need help with volunteers to help us with setup and breakdown of events. To help us advertise. Advertising is a huge challenge, and it's a challenge not only financially, it's one of our biggest expenses, but it's also getting the word out to all corners of our community, because we know that one of the problems that adults and especially parents face is that their lives are so busy that to squeeze this time in to get this education can be a challenge. But we know from what we've learned that this can be life-saving information. And so it really is critical that all parents and all youth become educated on this subject matter. And I would add that the Department of Homeland Security, in partnership with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, is now recognizing this as a pandemic, the online victimization of youth. So.
And I want to add something. And this is probably as important as our education, and that is, we are happy to help people find resources. There is no lack of resources. So any young person that gets victimized, there is no reason for you not to find help. If you don't feel comfortable going to your parents' call us. We will talk to you. We can put you in touch with someone else, but don't ever feel that what you have been involved with is the end of the world for you, because it is not.
Right.
And there are so many fantastic organizations that have all kinds of information already on the internet that you can tap into. In the privacy of your own bedroom, you can get some training. Your parents can get training. It isn't something you have to travel to do. And the other part of this talk should have to do with AI. That is the biggest and most horrendous threat we have today. Because every picture you send out is a potential nude in the hands of an AI person. And they use them. And they can take a very simple photograph and turn it into something that it's not you. Never was you, never will be you, but it's your face, and it's out there forever.
Right. They can almost like demonetize you.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. May I just add?
Yeah.
That as we move along, our programs are shaped by the input from the community. So, for instance, we, in having parents come to us and talk to us, we know that one of the benefits might be to have support groups for parents as they're trying to navigate this world of sexual predators on the internet. And so that's a concept that we're looking at. Another concept we're looking at is the very real situation of these predators luring youth into areas in our community where the open Wi-Fi access is unfiltered. And that's where they bully, coerce the youth to exchanging pornography. And so that's a challenge we need to look at on how we can perhaps get our businesses to work with us in getting some filters into those open Wi-Fi access services and blocking that pornographic exchange that would then deter these predators from acting in that way.
Right. Now I know you guys talked about like the online aspect and the events you guys have, but how do you guys fundraise, and what is your kind of your goals for fundraising for this as well?
Well, we want $1 million. It doesn't just fall out of the sky. We've been very fortunate. Some of the service clubs in our area and some individuals have been very generous in giving to us because they believe in what we're doing. And we are small. Our overhead is very tiny, which is good. And we work a lot. But we are looking forward to this fundraiser that's coming up in July, because this is a really good opportunity, and it's going to be fun. We probably can't tell too much about it yet because it's still in the infancy, but just keep your ears and eyes open and you'll find out about it.
Yeah. So, and this is a unique opportunity, this one in July, because we were actually approached by an individual who wants to do this fundraiser for us. So that's wonderful. We also do apply for grants. We haven't been successful yet in getting any. And we do welcome any volunteers who have expertise in grant writing that could help us be more effective in writing our grants to be successful in receiving them. And we do take donations. So if anybody wishes to donate, however small, they can do that through our Facebook page that will link you right to Give, Send, Go, which is our fundraising, one of our fundraising sources, and they can just write us a check and mail it to 603 Everett Street, Caldwell, Idaho 83605.
Okay.
So,
we'll make sure to put that in the description.
And that's also on our website. And also, I did want to mention that the resources that Joanne was talking about that are available for, I mean, like she was saying, there are tons of organizations out there. And the ones, we put links on our website that link you directly to the page on their websites that would apply to educating the people there. And what was I going to say? Anyway, so that, those we've vetted and we've chosen the best, we've narrowed down and chosen the best links to put on that website. I did want to say one other thing, piggybacking on what Debbie said, was that as things change, not only the input from people that we do the presentations for, but also as we see changes like with AI and other things, we update our presentations. So as things change, it's not stale and back here. It's keeping up, and it's always relevant to what is currently happening in the digital world and in the real world today.
Right. Now, what's your biggest threat or challenge you guys have?
I would say two. One is advertising our events, getting them out to all the different areas of our communities so that our events are well attended. And
is that sorry?
No, go
is
ahead.
That is it hard to create things to advertise, or is it just getting the community interested?
I think it's getting the community interested and getting them to respond. It's one thing to post it on the internet, but not everybody's going to see your website, not everybody's going to visit your Facebook page. And what we're finding is, as Joanne was saying, there's so many wonderful organizations out there, but we are the conduit through which we take it from the internet and we bring it in person to people so they understand the resources they have out there, the information they need to know, and what they need to do. We're the in-person connection. And so that is probably our biggest challenge, is to reaching people when an event is coming up so they know it's happening far enough in advance so that they can put it on their calendars and be able to attend. And I think, as Lori Jane may have said, and Joanne, that it's the importance that they need to know this information. It's not pleasant material, but if we do not get a handle on this problem, it is going to get even worse. And we know that it's not going away.
Right.
It's never going to go away.
Right.
And so we're trying to help law enforcement get this information out for this new curriculum, Know to Protect.
Right. That's really awesome. Is there anything else you want to add to that or want the community to be informed about?
I would add kudos to our city, because we have a great city, and from our law enforcement people to the mayor's office, and we work with MIAC kids all the time, and they're a wonderful resource for us, because obviously we're not in our teens anymore, and this is not the same world that we grew up in. So we need that input from the youth, but these are kids that are, I hesitate to use the word leadership, but they're leadership potential, because they're kids that are not afraid to step out and stand for something, but they're not sheeple. These are kids that are really with it, and they understand what's going on. They understand their peers, and they also understand our world. And so it's a great partnership. But our law enforcement people in our area are tuned into this. And if you have an incident, don't hesitate to call. Because they will respond. And that doesn't happen everywhere.
Right.
We have a lot to be thankful for. But there's a lot of work to be done.
Yeah.
And we want kids to be safe. We want them to be safe.
And we'd like the public to know that our focus is on the youth, but we also offer some other services. We do, and we have connected agencies with professionals who can train their staff to recognize human trafficking when it's happening in their midst and how to handle the situation. So that's another service we have been able to fill. And also to just reinforce that we do not work with victims, but we do partner with organizations that work with victims for professional insight and instruction. So we do offer a variety of services, and as Joanne said, we're so grateful to the youth that have come on board and been part of our decision making and our meetings. So that's been wonderful too. The city of Caldwell, and as we reach out more and more to our educational system, we look forward to working with them to get education into the schools.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for coming and doing this podcast with us, and thank you guys for listening in. I hope the community gets way more informed about this topic, and as it's a very sensitive, heavy topic. But everything to their website, their Facebook, will all be in the description.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks so much.
Of course.